I first had her in Journalism 101 my freshman year.
I was in Barbara's media ethics class when I first got here in America and began my first semester.
Barbara helped me get where I am today. She, it's funny. I took 101 not knowing exactly that I wanted to go into journalism, and she convinced me through all of her anecdotes, through everything she said, made you want to go into journalism. She convinced you that it was like one of the greatest jobs you can have.
Later in the year, before our first test, it had been a week where everything kind of just was going wrong, it felt like. And I was walking across campus and completely just biffed and laid myself out onto the sidewalk. And my phone went flying, so I decided to throw a little pity party on the sidewalk. And a few minutes later, I look up, and there's Barbara Mack holding my cell phone, and she's like, "I don't know what's more dangerous, honey, those shoes or the sidewalk."
Well, I was super nervous because I was studying media ethics. It's totally different from, between China and America. So I was nervous, but when I entered her class, she was passing donuts and cookies. And she made the cookies, actually. So I still remember how the cookies, the chocolate chip cookies, filled up in my mouth while I'm listening to her talking. I was surprised, and I thought, oh my God, this is America. This is amazing. This professor is amazing.
I'll really always remember September 11th, 2011 last year, not because it was 9/11, the 10th anniversary of it, but I'll always remember it because it was the first time in 15 years of schooling that I've ever been kicked out of a class. I got kicked out of Barbara Mack's JLMC 460, her law class, and I was sitting in the back of the class reading an Iowa State Daily. I worked for the Daily, and they came out with a great spread with people's faces all talking about where they were 10 years ago on 9/11, and it got to be about 3-4 minutes into class, and it was an 8 a.m. class, so I was kind of sitting in the back, and I kind of had my head leaned against the wall, and I was reading the Daily, and all of a sudden I heard, "You can leave." And it was definitely surprising. It was obviously a mistake on my part.
And in the 10 minutes it took me to get back to my dorm, she had emailed me asking what else had gone wrong because we had an exam the next day. And so deciding that there was nothing else that could go wrong, I emailed her like the whole story about my health issues and how I was nervous about the appointment coming up. And she emailed me back, and she's like, "I don't want you taking the exam in this frame of mind, so just postpone it." And then the next week I came back and took it with her. And it was only a 50-question exam, but I think I spent like 3 hours in her office just like talking about everything from actual school to like our shared health issues and whatnot.
Just who she was, the presence she gave, that presence of, she was like a waterfall and you were the sponge, and you would just absorb all of this information she had to give, and she had a lot to give, all of her stories, everything. I remember Spoon was telling me once, he said, "I can't read all of her stories because there are just so many." And that's what I think people are going to miss the most about Barbara Mack.
I mean, she was really passionate about life, and I feel really comfortable being with her and communicating with her.
I think that's one thing that I always remember about Barbara Mack is that not only did so many people love her, I think a lot of people feared her. She really had a way to make her students really pay attention, and if they screwed up, she was going to let her know. So I think, well, Barbara Mack, so many people loved her, and so many people here today loved her. A lot of people feared her, but I think everyone that encountered her in any respect could respect her, and I think that's the lasting legacy she'll leave on me.
I really adore her, but I can't believe she is gone. One thing I have to say that I entered Barbara's class by mistake because I am a graduate student. I shouldn't choose any undergraduate course, but this mistake is the best mistake ever made.